The mudman captured the school bully and performed a magic trick for them. Bart was thrilled and embraced him tightly. It turned out that this mudman had the ability to grant wishes. All you had to do was write a note and place it in his mouth, and the mudman would act according to the instructions. With the mudman by his side, Bart's status in school skyrocketed. Some of his followers even shaved their heads for him. However, seeing the mudman obediently following Bart, Lisa felt that this wasn't the mudman's true intent. She snatched Bart's notebook and wrote "speak," giving the mudman the ability to speak. To everyone's surprise, this mudman turned out to be a chatterbox, constantly complaining about his life. To cheer him up, the Simpson family created a wife for him. Maggie wrote live on a note and fed it to the mud woman.
Hello, everybody.
Upon hearing that voice, Homer raised his axe but was stopped by the mudman. He fell in love with the mud woman and they got married. The water monster grabbed a lighthouse and puffed on it like a smoke pipe. With a single command, the villagers transformed into water monsters one after another, and then advanced step by step toward the Simpson family. Homer was even swept away by Cthulhu. Just as Cthulhu opened his big mouth to eat Homer, Homer pulled out a flyer. He hadn't forgotten that he was there to participate in an oyster-eating contest, even though the contest was just a trap.
Are here to be sacrificed to an evil god from the ocean depths. SpongeBob!
Homer insisted on challenging Cthulhu to the contest, and Cthulhu eagerly agreed. The fisherman laughed at Homer. How could you possibly win against Cthulhu?
Well, my dad didn't eat breakfast.
Sure enough, with Homer having skipped breakfast, his stomach was like a bottomless pit. Cthulhu soon found himself defeated.
I need to take a walk, that's all.
Homer won. According to the contract, Cthulhu had to grant Homer one wish. As a result, Cthulhu transformed into a delicious meal and was served at the Simpson family's table. Homer and Peter became car wash girls, offering free car washes to the stolen cars. As Homer scrubbed the foam off one of the cars, the startled owner rushed out, only to bump right into Peter's arms. To find the car that Peter had lost, Homer set up this car wash trap. However, not only did they fail to locate the car, but they also attracted the attention of the police.
Hey, Chief, we could arrest every single car thief in Springfield.
After the show, Lou.
After this failure, Homer realized that to find the car, they needed to think like a car. So, he began to drink gasoline, mimicking a car. Homer then handed the fuel nozzle to Peter, who gulped it down. They still felt something was off until they saw other people filling up their car, and that's when they discovered their mistake. After acquiring the car's way of thinking, Homer brought out a giant magnet. Unfortunately, they couldn't find a suitable outlet to plug it in. Just as they were about to discard the magnet, the driver with a crutch stumbled away, and that's when Meg noticed it was their missing car.
The man bathed himself with the dog's tongue, all because the place was suffering from severe drought, and turtles were turned into turtle jerky just for a drop. Diapers soaked in urine were also in high demand. Only one person controlled the town's water supply, treating water like a prize and organizing a thirst game. Lisa was chosen as a contestant, and Marge strapped weapons all over her. Unexpectedly, the gun went off. Marge calmly cut off her long hair, dyeing it orange. On the day of the competition, a man appeared behind Lisa.
The only thing I want to kill is your sadness.
Meanwhile, another man emerged from the bushes, also confessed his love to Lisa, just when Lisa was unsure how to choose.
Did someone order 2 dead kids?
The competition heated up. Lisa stepped forward to stop everyone and delivered a passionate speech, urging everyone to resist the game. They charged towards the reservoir in their battle vehicles. The water gushed out. Everyone became the winner. The Simpsons all went to heaven, and it's all Homer's fault. One day, Homer threw a bowling ball, which accidentally hit Flanders. Miraculously, Flanders survived and gained superpowers. He could see the doctor's future. The doctor was about to open the window. What happened next was exactly what Flanders saw. Homer excitedly asked Flanders to predict his future. Flanders placed his hand on Homer and saw that he had ended Homer's life himself. To protect his friend, Flanders decided to leave. However, Homer didn't believe his prophecy at all and handed Flanders a gun, constantly mocking him. After a fierce internal struggle, Flanders ultimately threw the gun away. He thought he had changed the future and excitedly hugged Homer, only to see Homer press a button. The whole town exploded. Flanders panicked and urged Homer to stay away from the button.
Don't do it! Don't do it! You'll kill everyone!
But to Homer,
Do it! Do it! Kill everyone!
for the sake of everyone in town, Flanders had to point the gun at Homer. Nevertheless, Homer's tongue still accidentally touched the button.
Oh, you stupid son of a...
Maggie fell into a capsule, and the doctor used a shrinking machine to make the capsule smaller. Burns then swallowed it. That's when Marge realized Maggie was missing. The doctor checked and confirmed that Maggie was indeed in his stomach. Panicked, Homer reached into Burns' belly, but pulled out a strange object. Seeing it wasn't Maggie, he tossed it back. To rescue Maggie, the doctor shrank the Simpson family and sent them inside Burns' body, directly crashing into his heart. They had no choice but to leave the spaceship and try to push it out. Homer even borrowed a bone to successfully pry the spaceship loose. After some searching, they found Maggie. Homer grabbed the capsule and tossed it into the spaceship. However, the spaceship soon ran out of fuel, and they had to leave one person behind. Upon hearing this, Homer was inevitably the one who stayed. Just as they exited Burns' body, the spaceship returned to its normal size. It turned out that the shrinking effect had a time limit. The next moment, Burns began to shake, and Homer became part of Burns. From then on, they shared one body, except that Homer could no longer enjoy delicious food.
The tycoon lifted the lid.
Hi, lid! Gobble, 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 death!
He then handed a leg to the shocked Simpsons. One day, Homer brought his family there for vacation.
However, they found something strange was happening here. At night, Marge transformed into a Catwoman.
Homer then spent some delightful time with her.
Quiet, yous!
After a fierce battle, the hungry Maggie lunged at a bird, and Homer realized that his wife had become a monster. In search of a way to turn her back, Homer sneaked into the tycoon's laboratory, where he encountered his neighbor.
Milk me!
Perfect vacation ruined.
Riding his neighbor, he witnessed an astonishing scene. Everyone had turned into animals, including his son and daughter. Homer was terrified and rallied everyone to overthrow the tycoon to regain their humanity.
All you can do is eat and sleep. Where do I sign up?
Ultimately, he ended up transforming into a seal and joined the animal kingdom. Pikachu Maggie jumped happily into the house. Behind them were various versions of The Simpsons. So here's the question, which version is your favorite? One day, Homer held an exorcism at home. Unexpectedly, the original Simpson family appeared before them. Grandpa was so scared that he ran right through Homer's, but to escape.
Hey, a little respect.
Ghost Marge and Homer exchanged loving glances, which made Marge very jealous. She turned on the oven and then crawled inside. While Homer was taking a bath, he chatted with Ghost Marge. Suddenly, Marge floated out of the bathtub.
A ghost!
Ghost Homer discovered that his wives was gone and charged at Homer with a toaster. To avoid cleaning up the mess, Lisa and Bart jumped in one after another. As a result, the two generations of Simpsons gathered in heaven. Lisa suddenly thought,
If there can be two incarnations of The Simpsons, why couldn't some millions of others?
just as she finished speaking, the big-eyed Simpson family walked in.